Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, which has almost 30,000 subscribers, trying to reach 30,000 subscribers by June 1st. So if you enjoyed this video today, do me a favor, post a link to it on Facebook or Twitter, or tell a friend, anybody you know who watches wrestling, have them check out NoDQ&A video. With that being said, let's get right down to your questions. First one today. What's the deal with John Cena's injury? Is it legit or is it just part of a storyline? Right now, it appears to be a combination of both. The belief is that it is in fact a legitimate injury. However, WWE has decided to take advantage of the situation and play it into the storyline, and that's what happened on Raw. Obviously, if John Cena is seriously hurt and needs time off, he wouldn't be wrestling on Raw. I mean, the fact that he was on Raw leads me to believe that the injury is something that is not that serious, and it's something that he can continue to work around and continue to appear on Raw and do matches. So yeah, it is a way to create this kind of doubt that John Cena will be able to retain the title at Extreme Rules now that he's injured, and this is something that Ryback can take advantage of. It's a very typical situation in WWE, an injury storyline, and in this case they're just playing up a real injury. But yeah, I mean, I don't see it as a serious injury. You know, if John Cena was really hurt, he wouldn't have wrestled on Raw. Alright, this one comes from Sam Axe. Hey Aaron, I know some will get hate here, but I think John Cena should remain a babyface. He does a lot of great things for charity, and he is already a, quote, heel by half of the audience. He gets cheers and boos. I have always respected John Cena regardless. Thoughts? Well, I think that is one way that WWE looks at it. John Cena gets a huge reaction every time he comes out. Some people cheer him, some people boo him. Now, the thing is, if you turn him heel and change his character, how are people going to react to him? I mean, the adults will end up just cheering John Cena, and then the kids and the women will not react to him much at all. Maybe they'll boo him or whatever, but it's really unknown how people would react to Cena if he was to turn heel. So I think WWE knows they have a good thing right now with John Cena. He gets huge reactions. The people are making a lot of noise, whether it's cheering or booing. And, you know, he's the face of the company. And we saw on Raw this past week with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That whole segment, that's a main reason why WWE does not want to change John Cena's character or turn him heel, because John Cena is important to them when it comes to doing the Make-A-Wish, and he's really a good spokesman for WWE. That was a perfect example on Raw. I mean, why they're not going to turn John Cena or change up his character. And, you know, I don't think people mind John Cena being a babyface. I think it's just the fact that he's been playing the same exact character for 8 years now, and there hasn't really been much of a break. I mean, John Cena's been around constantly. He's had injuries here and there, but you know, he had that injury in 2007. He came back 3 months later. I mean, that was, I think, the longest period that John Cena was gone from WWE television. So as I mentioned in the previous video, I think if you're not going to turn him heel, the next best thing to do is to give him some time off. But as we see here with this current injury he has, he's right back on Raw, still doing matches. At some point, he's going to need the time off. I mentioned this in the previous video. He's going to need to, you know, he will get seriously hurt one of these days if he doesn't take some time off and allow his body to heal up. But I have a feeling that WWE is just going to run him into the ground, and John Cena probably has the attitude that, you know, he is the captain of the ship. He's the top guy, and he needs to lead by example and keep going out there and giving it his best effort. So, I mean, if John Cena is really banged up and feeling hurt, he's probably not going to be showing it. He's going to go out there and be as strong as possible. But I think it really would benefit if John Cena did take some time off and just give people a break. I mean, I think that's really the best way to go. When you bring him back, maybe just tweak up his character a little bit at least, just something like that. All right, this one comes from ZL Kirby. Hey Aaron, do you think any of the ECW originals will ever be put into the WWE Hall of Fame? P.S. Love the show. I definitely see Paul Heyman going into the Hall of Fame, and I know he's not a wrestler, but he was the guy behind ECW, so I think Paul Heyman will absolutely be in it one day. And as far as the actual talent, I think Rob Van Dam is a given. considering the fact that RVD had his run in WWE and he was WWE champion. The fact that he had success in both ECW and WWE, I think that makes him an easy candidate for the Hall of Fame. As far as some of the other guys, I mean, Tommy Dreamer, maybe. Same thing with Sabu and Sandman, maybe. I don't know if they're when you look at the list of guys that are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, possible candidates, I don't see those guys being at the top. I see them being way down. But you know what? When people always ask me, who do you think is going to be in the Hall of Fame? Does this guy deserve to be in? The fact that Coco Beware got in, I say anybody can get in. So, I mean, those guys are all possible. And maybe WWE will do an ECW-themed version of the Hall of Fame someday. Who knows? Maybe a bunch of them will go in as a group. You just don't know. All right, this one comes from WWE Fan 5. Hey Aaron, do you think Christian deserves to be inducted into the Hall of Fame? I absolutely think he deserves it. There's so many memories, including Christian, that will stay with me, involving Christian that will stay with me, and so many other people forever. With Christian, I just don't know because, Christian was part of the Attitude Era and part of the whole tag team situation and the feud over the TLC and the tag team titles. So Christian was a big part of that, but the fact is, Edge was the star of the team, and, when you look at the Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy was the star of the team, and Christian was never really pushed at a main event level. I mean, he did have that brief run with the world title and had that feud with Randy Orton, but besides that, WWE never really pushed him to the top. So I just don't know if they're going to put him into the Hall of Fame or not. I'm really not sure. I think it's borderline. Maybe he'll go in at some point. But, I just don't know. And the same thing with Matt Hardy. I think that Jeff Hardy is a given for the Hall of Fame, but Matt Hardy and Christian, they were kind of in the shadow of the other guy. And I just don't know if Christian was a big enough star in WWE that they'll end up putting him in, but we'll see. All right, this one is also from WWE Fan 5. Hey Aaron, which Kane did you like better? The Mast King in the 1990s, the Mast King in the early 2000s, the Unmasked Kane around 2005, 2010, or the Mast King we see now? I loved Mast King back in the early 2000s. Well, I would have to say that the best Kane was the original Kane when he first came in 1997, because that Kane was mysterious. You didn't know what he was about, and he just came in and he dominated everybody. I mean, WWE pushed Kane to the moon. I mean, they had him come out every week, choke slamming everybody, and he didn't sell moves for anybody. I mean, he was unstoppable. To me, that was the best Kane, and then they gradually started watering him down over time and turning him babyface and putting him in comedy storylines and just doing a lot of things to water down the character in general. So I'd have to go with the original Kane, and that was, I think, also the most physically intimidating Kane, and that was when they were pushing him the hardest. I mean, nothing beats the original, in my opinion. All right, this one comes from JMSVLSTRS. Hi Aaron, is there an exact event that started the Attitude Era? Some say the formation of DX started it. I say Bret Hart's March 17, 1997 post-match interview where he snapped and shoved Vince and laid out the foundation. What do you think? Please answer in video. I don't think that there was ever an official start of the Attitude Era. It's just something that gradually developed in WWE. You could go as far back as Survivor Series 1995, Bret Hart versus Diesel for the WWE title, the No Holds Barred match, Bret Hart going through the table. That was the first time on a WWE pay-per-view we saw somebody go through a table like that. And, Kevin Nash, Diesel lost the title, and afterwards, he mouthed off the obscenities. That match, that was really, I think, the beginning, because that was the first time where you really saw an ECW influence in WWE, and that was shortly after the Monday Night Wars began. So WWE had to start changing things up, and I mean that's the real first example that I recall where WWE was trying to do something different and start gearing themselves more towards an adult audience. And then after that, the '96 Rumble when Kevin Nash, Diesel came out and flipped off Undertaker. And there were just little things here and there where they started moving in that direction. They would have Sunny in the bikini at the beginning of Raw during 1996. And then, Jim Ross doing that promo where he came out and, acknowledged Vince McMahon as the real life owner of WWE, WWF at the time. That was a groundbreaking promo for WWE at the time. I mean, that was the first ever worked shoot promo where JR referenced real life incidents. And then you had, as you mentioned, the 97 interview with Bret Hart, where he just used all the profanity. And it was one of my all-time favorite promos of all time. And before that, you had Brian Pillman pulling out the gun on Steve Austin. So like I said, there were a lot of different things that started leading up to the Attitude Era. But, for me, WrestleMania 13 would be the real starting point, because that was when Steve Austin's character turned babyface, and, that was the beginning of the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin to the top in WWE. So if I had to pick any one moment, it would be WrestleMania 13, the Bret Hart Steve Austin submission match. All right, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&AV, trying to reach 30,000 by June 1st. I appreciate all the support from you guys, and I will see you next time for more No DQ&A video.